All right, just want to do a test audio real quick. Just say something.
Yo, yo, yo.
Okay. What's going on, YouTube? Cloverbells here, back with another Scarlet Violet video. And today we are welcoming back Darsh Patel onto the channel. And what we're going to do is adjust our original regulationI tier list. So you may notice that there's actually someone else joining me on camera. Yes, that is actually Darsh. Welcome back, Darsh. This time we can actually see you. So Darsh, would you like to say hello to our viewers?
What's up, Clover Bell Nation, guys? I'm here. Clover hit me up to come back, and I'm so excited that you did. Thank you for having me, first of all. But I'm just having the time of my life on YouTube right now. I feel like so much has happened in the meta these last couple of tournaments. Like some of the comments, as you were saying in our old tier list, they predicted the future. I swear to God. But I'm just so excited about making this video. I think so much is changing all the time. And the regulation that we're playing right now, to me, is so dynamic. It's changing so much, and I'm excited to help more players figure out what they should use at NAIC, at some grassroots online tournaments, Victory Road this weekend, and yeah, man, I'm excited to be here and make a great video with you, bro.
Yeah, exactly. And you kind of hit it right on the money there. Like, I chose now to update this because we've had a ton of regionals pass us by throughout the month of May, and now that we just had Bologna wrap up in there, and we're getting really close now to NAIC. That was like the last one before it, to my understanding. And yes, you did say we have VR coming up this weekend, so I think now is just as good of a time as ever to update this, because it's been almost a month, and just repaint the picture of the regulationI meta here. So what we're gonna do is, this is the original list that we had 3 weeks ago. So for the sake of time, what Darsh and I are gonna do, we're just gonna move stuff up, we're gonna move stuff down, and we're gonna add a couple of pairs that recently got some results that were not on the original radar. And down there you see it, the Miraidon Terapagos and Zacian Groudon over there. But just to reiterate how we ranked the tiers before we even start. So when we say S tier, these are like the best of the best, and you see it right there in parentheses. These are meta defying restricteds. The regulationI is all centralized around this. When you team build, you are planning to at least have some way to deal with these guys, because these are the best of the restricted pairs. And then as we go down to the A tier, this is what we call strong and consistent. Maybe not as quote-unquote dominant as your S tiers, but could get up there depending on the partners that you attach to them. But these are also still like very good. They're also relatively prevalent within the meta. Then we go down into the B tier, which we divided into two sections. One is the high B tier. Then after that is the lower B tier, where these are partners that have potential, but maybe just need a little bit more exploration, or the partners aren't so clear as of yet. But again, the whole idea is they could be good or really good, but need a little bit more time to develop. Then we go into the C tier, where these restricteds, they're kind of cute. They could be good, but these are like only strong in certain matchups, and then like other matchups, they're just not that great. And the partners maybe just don't quite have it. And maybe they just don't have the synergy that the other S and A tier restricted pairs have. And then down at the D tier, this is what we call the don't use tier, right? Or the Garbo tier. Maybe not so great. Yeah, Darsh says it's trash. Okay. Right. But who knows? Maybe one day someone's gonna pick up one of these, get a result, and say, Clover, you gotta put this up a tier because I got a result with this duo. So but yeah, Darsh, before we start, you want to add to anything that we just said, just in terms of our ranking?
Yeah, I think overall, right, it's like A is the best, S is the absolute pinnacle. Like, you have to be working. Like, if you're a player going to a tournament, you have to expect every single one of these S tier combos to be in your schedule at some point. Your team has to be able to handle those things. I would argue the A tier as well. Right, in every tournament you're playing in, you're gonna see S tier and A tier. These combos are gonna be in your tournament, right? In that B tier, you might see maybe one or two of these in your entire run, maybe one. C, I don't know. If you are, it's probably in round one, and you got pretty lucky. So that's the way I'm approaching this. I think this is also really helpful, because if you are practicing for a tournament coming up, this should give you a good guide to see what you can pick, but also what you should prepare for. Also, you can see what me and Clover are sleeping on. So maybe that's what everyone else is sleeping on too. So maybe I can give you an idea to use something that's a little bit more or less represented. But I think you hit the nail on the head, man. I think this tier list, I'm looking at it right now. I'm proud of some decisions. I'm also not proud of some. But I think we did a pretty good job overall.
Yeah, some things are definitely going to stay where they are, but then there's other pairings that are definitely going to move up, and then there's going to be some that are going to take a bit of a dip just based off of what we've seen over these past couple weeks or so. So, guys, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and start moving things up and down. But before that, what I want to do is actually go back to our first video. And some of the comments that we saw there are actually pretty interesting. So I want to address those first before we actually get into things. So let's take a look at that. All right, so we're back here in our original video, right? And it was just funny when I saw like some of this stuff. So I'm gonna scroll down to some of the comments here because some of these are like you said, like foreshadowing, based on where the meta could turn here.
Literally see the future. They can literally see the future.
Yeah. So let's look at this one right here from Hayden. So right now, Hayden is, well, not right now, like a couple weeks ago, Hayden says, I can just picture it now. Scarf or AV Kyogre, right? Both have Ice Beam and Thunder, plus Life Orb Pagos / Electric Miraidon. Okay, Electric Miraidon. All right, running Thunder on Miraidon for funsies. Okay, funny how that sounded at the time, but this actually ended up being a thing, didn't it, Darsh?
Yes, we have seen Thunder Miraidon on Kyogre teams. I actually played against that very team when I went to the Portland Regional Championships a few weekends ago. It was Tornadus, Serena, Kyogre, Miraidon, Iron Hands, and I think it was one more, maybe Urshifu. I forgot what the last Pokemon was. And I literally was like, oh my god, I literally have to play against it in my round 30. So I don't know how they saw this coming, but it happened.
Yeah. Well, was the opponent's name Hayden?
No, his name was Jordan Wiseman. Shout out to you, Jordan, if you're watching this.
All right, not quite there. All right, so yeah, so we'll look at that pairing in a second. We can even reevaluate some of that team comp. But how about this one down here? Look for what Mr. Culkin said, right? I really think y'all slept on Zacian, in my opinion. If you pair it with Kyogre, Miraidon, or CSR, it could work very well. On Kyogre, maybe even win the whole thing. Right? What do you say about this one? Did it win the whole thing?
Yeah, did it? I don't know if it won a regional. Did it win a regional?
Wait, am I mistaken? Wait, what did Kevin bring? It was Kyogre and...
Yes, Cali Ice.
Oh, sorry. Oh, my bad. All right,
but it still performed very well. In Portland, there were multiple players who made day 2 and top cut with the Swordfish team. So it's, again, I think a lot of us counted it out in the very first regional in Milwaukee, but in the last couple events, it's been popping up, and I think you have to respect it because now everyone's like, oh my god, like Kyogre is weirdly positioned very well right now, and if you don't respect the dog, you're gonna get walked, and that's what we've been seeing.
Yeah, I think it was something like this, right, where you had like Kyogreization, and the Tailwind Mon ended up being Roaring Moon, and then they added Iron Hands for a little bit of stability in the Trick Room matchup.
Moongus, Orlando Eye also in the last slot.
Exactly. Yeah, it was this kind of build. Yeah, we saw a lot of this. And and I think this is like a really strong team. Like, I'm not gonna lie. And this is like a little bit more development with Swordfish. Like, originally you saw like Tornadus, Chenpao, Ursh, and Mungus. That was like okay, yeah, it was good. I liked it when I was like using it for a bit early on. But this one's also like really good. Like, again, like Urshifu in the rain, Roaring Moon, Tailwind, Dark type, really strong. So
it has some more positioning and some more bulk, which I think allows the team to just get more damage and win those trades more. Also, like using Iron Hands to counter other, Miraidons are always going to come, right? So now you get to punish other Miraidon with your own Iron Hands, right? Like, they're going to go Trick Room. All right, well, I have a Moongus. Like, it gives you a lot of different options. And I think that, like, a lot of Tornadus, they just get Thunder Wave or something. Well, now you have Roaring Moon. You can't get Thunder Wave. So there's a lot of cool text that I'm seeing here.
Yeah, Dark typing is really underrated right now, especially against, like, all those Grimmsnarl stuff. All right, now, how about this? These two comments are crazy right here. Like, we got, how do I say this? Znivs 5, 3 weeks ago. What do you think about Miraidon Pagos? Okay, you missed it on the pairings. Yes, we did. I'm using it on Showdown, and I'm curious on what the placement it would be on your tier list. Yo.
We literally just saw Electric Seed Terapagos with Miraidon, used by some of the best players in the world, like Marco Silva. What I will say is, some people on his team building group made it pretty far. Marco's one of the best players in the world, and he didn't even make day 2 with this pairing. So I think there's potential for sure. That team was crazy though. It had Sinistra and Iron
All
Treads.
right,
It
that
was
was
like
the secret.
it was so creative. It was actually like whoever came up with that team, that's really awesome. And whoever this commenter was, if,
It's
if
the
you
alt account.
if you had Sinistra and Iron Treads, let us know in the comments if that was you.
Yo, this is crazy. And then how about this one down here? Ansani 1295. Hear me out. Miraidon, Kyogre unlock Iron Jugulis's full potential. Wims and Torn may be good, but don't sleep on a dark type Tailwind user who threatens both Rillaboom and Ghost Restricted's with Snarl. Yo.
That's literally what knocked me out of my tournament was Iron Jugulis with Kyogre.
Oh no.
I lost to it twice in the same tournament from the same team building group. So I don't know if they had Miraidon. I think they had Cali Ice and Kyogre, but the Iron Jugulis was a very prevalent figure. And now a lot of times you're playing on Pokemon Showdown in practice, you're gonna see this team a lot. On my channel, I actually did a team report of the player who finished in 3rd place of Carrie Diortona, and he literally used Iron Jugulis, Kyogre, and Calyrex Ice to make it to the 3rd place.
Yeah, the only thing I when I was looking at it, I was like, there's a Rillaboom here, and I I understand like the double typing at times, with Amoonguss and Rillaboom. You could fit that on a couple teams there. I thought maybe you could do something else besides the Rillaboom on this, but I do get it. That was like a comfort pick for Carrie. I think there's a couple things you can try in this slot there. I don't think Rillaboom is like a sure all end all.
It really helps them control terrain.
Yeah, for sure.
So like now against Miraidon, you can bring Amoonguss. Like against me, I played Miraidon, Calyrex Ice. They brought Rillaboom every single game because they let Kyogre Rillaboom consistently. And what that lead allows you to do is control terrain, but also now if you go Kyogre Amoonguss or Cali Ice Amoonguss, now okay, there's a Miraidon there. Well, I'm gonna bring in my Rillaboom and just spore you and then go with all these bulky damage hitters. So the Rillaboom makes sense to me. It also gives you fake out. I know they had Annihilate as a potential option as well. Scarf Annihilate on that team as well.
That was Andrew, I think. I don't remember his name.
Yeah, he brought it. He ended up bringing it. Carrie had it. Carrie thought about adding it in the very last moment. Again, watch my team report after this video if you want to see him talk about the team. But it was a very unique slot. Like Landorus, I was considered as there as well. It's a very, I would say that is the flex spot if there's one in the 6.
Yeah, I think I was trying like a couple of things. I was trying Raging Bolt here, for Bolt Beam coverage. I was even putting an Instant there. Like that worked okay in some cases. Yeah, and then even like this, like even just like Grimmsnarl screens, with this whole idea.
We saw Gavin do the same thing.
Yeah, I think like there's a couple things you could do here. And it's up for grabs. Who knows? Maybe someone else will make an adjustment and try something moving forward. But hey, it's pretty cool that we got to see that comment there, man. And then of course this comment right here from Tag Garrison along with Ansoni here kind of go together. Kyogre Miraidon is still unexplored. This was 3 weeks ago. I'm playing the duo and using all kinds of different things. Feels really good, but I haven't cracked the best 6 yet. I don't think the best 6 is even, cracked even now, 3 weeks later.
Yeah, I think we don't know what it was, but all I know is the player who piloted it in Utrecht went, I think, 11-0 before losing to Michael Kelsch or something, or I think Lewis Markle or one of those 2 finalists. They were 11-0, Clover, 11-0.
Yeah.
Until they got knocked out. So like, again, the way it looks like it is a very hyper offensive team. That's what I've been seeing it be used as. But hey, maybe you want to go with some, weird Calm Mind parabolic charge with Grimmsnarl, and now Kyogre can protect your Terra Grass. You never know with these kind of builds, right? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, for sure. And then how about this one right here? This is the comment of the video. Well, almost, right? How about here? CDT5. I honestly think Zamazenta Calyrex Shadow Rider will pick up later in the meta. The current form with them isn't the right core.
Yeah, that is genuinely like that's a future seer right there. They're a seer. Like they saw that they have their magical orb. They looked inside and saw the result from Bologna, where it was entirely Zamazenta and Calyrex Shadow, and they came back from the future in Italy to put that comment there. They must have, because in Bologna, I think 5 out of the top 8 teams had Calyrex Shadow and Zamazenta. Like that's insane.
Yeah, I was looking at it like, there's a couple of things you can mix and match here, but I think there's Like when we look at that pair for a second, I think the secret mon there, and you got to see it in the finals. And you know, it was on our thumbnail when we did our recap video. Bro, people are starting to find out now again that Raging Bolt is still like a very good mon, man.
It is. Raging people just wanted to forget about it because Miraidon exists. I'm sorry, Raging Bolt wins almost every damage trade it plays into, and it gets priority and it gets protect. Like I would argue it is the best priority move in the game because of its bulk, right? Because Chin Power Sucker Punch, sure, but the problem is that you're always taking insane damage back. Raging Bolt can thunderclap twice before you remove it off the field easily, which even 3 times. So I think Raging Bolt is an amazing pair for this team.
Yeah, and you know you can see like some different builds there. You know, it's never like one clear item. Like yeah, we can see like booster energy. I've seen that already. I've even seen like life orb a couple times, and then even like the AV set with E-webs, right, for some other speed control chip damage. I think all of these are like good items, and it all really just depends on the
number
people.
one item that has been performed well on Raging Bolt is the magnet or the zap plate.
Right, the magnet plate, the magnet. You know, just a little bit of damage, not necessarily relying on booster, because you know when you switch it out, oh well, now I'm cooked, right? Yeah, but at least this is like your modern day Regieleki, as I like to say sometimes.
I know. I always check if Miraidon gets Electro Webs, otherwise it'd be broken. Imagine it got Electro Web. Oh, that'd be so good.
Then you. Oh no, I think that's too much with you know, specs and what the ability.
Hadron. Yeah, yep. Hadron. Oh my god,
no.
It's like heat waves. They're gonna feel
okay. All right, well, that's it for the comments, right? So again, a little bit of foreshadowing from our viewers there. They did relatively well there. So now let's actually go back to our tier list here. Let's talk about some of these pairings and let's start actually moving things up and down. All right, so Darsh, let's start here with the S tier. Okay, we're looking at Miraidon Calyrex Ice Rider. Is this still an S tier mon? I mean, an S tier duo.
Absolutely, in my opinion. Recently, there's so much counterplay to it, right? But I still think it's the best, like top 3 or top 4 pairing without a doubt. At every regional, the whole meta is preparing for you for a reason. It's been performing wherever you go. It has already won a regional. It is the best.
Yeah,
number one, S tier easily.
Yeah, and you know, there's a few ways that you can approach it. You can keep it relatively standard by just doing the traditional way. You know, Fergaf, Iron Hands, and a couple other mons. You can also go like Whimsicott Tailwind, or what people have also been doing now, again, is of course the Grimmsnarl Screens variant. You can even just add an Urshifu here or an Ogerpon Heartflame over here. Lots of different staples, right? Yeah. Depending on how you want to play it. You can go screens, you can go fast, but it's still like strong. You know, just a Trick Room mode, a physical attacker that's super strong and bulky. Then you have like the dominant special attacker here. So without a doubt, that's still within the S tier. How about the next one, Lunala Miraidon?
Yeah, I still think this is S tier as well. Like that, it's only been popular really on one team. That's been that one specific team. But there has been adaptations. So where I've seen, you know, there's the Ursaluna's on there. It's a very good team.
Are you a fan of the Calm Mind variant that we've been seeing rise as of late with like Rillaboom and the double terrain? Yes. By the way,
I think it's strong because, in my opinion, the other version is more of a Miraidon team and an Ursaluna team, whereas a Calm Mind Lunala that's the center of this team, and Miraidon is more there for like sleep support and as a nuke. Mm-hmm. This pairing is really strong. You have to respect it. It is scary with the damage it can do. And both sides just feel like they're way bulkier than you think. They're harder to break through than you would think they would be. And it's just they protect them each other. They're good in Trick Room. They're good in fast. They can get wide guard. They can do setup. They can protect you from Spore. Such a good duo. I love the duo.
Yeah, for sure. Like, and you saw it in Bologna, right? This was like I know there was like so much CSR Zamazenta Raging Bolt there, but in reality, the other winner was Calm Mind Lunala ideas with this kind of setup completely. And you know, in the beginning of format, you wouldn't think of doing this because it's like, well, why would you override your Miraidon terrain like this? There's merit to the argument, but if you're gonna do the Calm Mindset, then yeah, it kind of does still work because you have the fake out in the screens, and you know, Miraidon necessarily need the terrain, right? It can still do damage, and if you're clicking Volt Switch half the time, right, pivoting in and out, then it's fine.
Yeah, it's like you come in to protect from Spore, and you get to get your damage off. Okay, now I need more health. I'm gonna go right back into Rillaboom. So I think it's a great. I mean, in theory, it doesn't sound optimal, but in my opinion, if a good player uses that team, they will do a great job.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's all about positioning from there. All right, how about the next one? Koraidon Lunala, fighting type with the ghost type.
I don't know if it's S tier anymore. S tier anymore.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, I think it's probably in an A tier or even high B. Don't love it. A lot of rain makes Koraidon feel weaker now. I don't see this pairing performing well. That's what I think. But what do you think?
Yeah, I definitely would drop this down from the S tier. I mean, at the time it was pretty good. There's still like some variants with like Ursaluna and Incin and whatnot. You still have the photosynthesis stuff, with Brute Bonnet and then Chiyu. Of course, I think Chiyu comes to a lot of these cores still, if you don't run the Incin. But after that, it's just like, okay, well, there's a lot more Kyogre now. Okay, and with the rise of those ogres and also the Iron Jugulus ideas and some of the other Miraidon variants, I think now the Koraidon has a little bit of a struggle with especially when you're trying to do something like this. It's still good, without a doubt. I'm not gonna say it's like dominant like S tier before, but I think with the rise of the ogre stuff, I think we can definitely drop it down here. I'm still going to say it's either like high B or low A, in my opinion. So
I agree with you. What are you thinking? Where do you want to put it?
Man, I still think Koraidon's teams are still like okay. I think I'm gonna go like I may change this later. I'm gonna go low A for now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that because I think now it's probably actually better positioned than it's been because now that everyone's running Kyogre, I think the new versions of this team are going to be made to beat that team.
Yeah.
And now you have the wide because the Kyogre and Calyrex Ice is so popular now. So now you can use wide guard really, really well with the Lunala, and play more to the wide guard angle than you have before.
Yeah, I think maybe like these teams will start to use a little bit more Raging Bolt just because it can do well into the Kyogre stuff. But if you're gonna partner, and then you get to abuse Miraidon terrain, if you're gonna do that, so we'll see. I think we'll see. Like I like some AV Raging Bolts on these type of teams. Super bulky. You can get damage anyway from the sun. We'll see if that makes a difference moving forward there. All right.
Yeah.
Now this one we took a gamble, right, with the next one, and I think we got it right. Terapagos and Calyrex Shadow Rider.
Yeah, I think it's S tier, but I think it's definitely the bottom of the S tier. Mm-hmm. I think I played it twice at Portland. I did beat it twice. What I will say is, if you don't have a specifically planned matchup into this team, it can run you over easily. However, a lot of top players, in my opinion, are really trying to build counters to this team specifically. And for example, like the Kyogre offense team just blows through this. Iron Jugulus just blows through this. Struggle Bug Volcarona just blows through this. So in my opinion, I think it's good. I don't think we've seen the best version of it yet. But I will say it's probably S tier because someone always uses it and always does well. So I'm gonna give it the respect that it deserves.
Yeah, for sure. Like it's always gonna be like this Calm Mind variation, with the Pagos, and then these Calyrexes are gonna do something like this with the Encore and the Disable support just to like remove the fighting idea against the Pagos, and then this is like a Sash.
Yep.
Right, and then from there, like it's always like some form of fake out and redirection just to try and set up this Pagos. You know what was funny enough? I don't know if you noticed this, but this archetype was like eighth place. Specifically 8th place in like 4 regionals. Did you notice that?
No, I saw I was in 2 in a row. I didn't know it was in 4.
I was like, bro, what is this? It's like 4 in a row. It's like got 8th place. Not in a row. I think there was like 1 interruption in there, but yeah, there was like at least 4 regions where this thing got like 8th place, like specifically 8th.
Number 8.
Yeah. So well, again, at the time you saw one of the comments in the video, like, the whole Miraidon got more results. Why isn't that in the S tier? It's like, I don't know if I'm still believing in Ho at the moment. At the time it was like good, but now like as the format extends, this is it's more consistent, than some of the whole teams that you can still see. But it was cute for a minute. But right now we got 3 in the S tier. We might bump a couple more in there, but we'll see what happens. But let's
Yeah.
now look at our A tier. So we did drop the Koraidon Lunata Dante, but now look at Miraidon Ho-Oh. Is this still an A tier duo?
I'm gonna say no. I
Yeah.
don't think so. I think Ho had its moment, and I think that moment's over. I love Ho-Oh more than everyone and than anyone else does. It's one of my favorite Pokemon growing up. I love the art. I had Heart Gold. But I will say I do not think it is as strong, especially with the rise of Kyogre that we're seeing right now. This Pokemon is just it's good at countering specific things, but with more electric types, with more water types, even more rock pond, a lot of these Pokemon showing up, it's just hard for me to believe in the Firebird. So I don't know. And also the team comps are very similar all the time. And I don't know how great it is because so many people are running anti-screens now. People really want to remove screens. I've seen Brick Break Pao. I've seen Taunt Pao.
That
People, yes.
Yeah. It's funny how you mentioned Brick Break Pao. Spoiler alert: we're releasing a couple. We're releasing a few more rentals on the channel for June, and one of them is Brick Break Pao. You know, because I did say this, you know, in the month of May, where if there's a lot of Gurnstall, people are gonna find ways to get around the screens, and one way is Brick Break, and Pao does get that, and we saw that from Emilio Forbes. Okay,
yeah, one of the top players of all time in the world, and anytime he comes to a tournament, he's gonna have a great run, and yeah, he's running it. So it's just hard, right? Like one thing that makes Ho-Oh so good is the Grim, and I think now with Rain, with Brick Break, with all this other stuff happening, I just don't believe in the Ho-Oh anymore, and I think it's probably the very bottom of high B. I would argue even at the top of low B. I don't even know how I feel about it.
Yeah, I do think it's definitely, you know, I think it's better than the C tier, guys, for sure. I do think it's somewhere within the B tier. I was gonna put like middle of, if this makes any sense, middle of low B.
Okay, right? Yeah, you hate on it as much as me. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, something like this, right? Somewhere there within the B. Like it's still good, you know, just not nearly as good as it once was. It had its 15 minutes of fame. Now it's just like, okay, yeah, we know who you are now. You were a C restricted for a reason, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, there's a little bit more rock cover. You know what kind of wrecks this duo, just like one Pokemon in general, that is like technically a C tier mon in itself, but like kind of just does so much against these two. Can you guess what it is?
I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna guess Ting Lu.
Okay, actually that's one of them. That is another one, but there's another one. It's another ground type.
Another ground type that
very niche.
Ground. Okay, I'm thinking
very niche.
Ooh. Okay. Ground type that wrecks this duo. There's no ground fairy that I can think of. So how does it ground beat?
It's actually done had a few results in some regions.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Let's see if you crush them.
I mean, you're not gonna pick Lando I. Like, it's definitely not Lando I. Is it Groudon?
No, it's a non-legendary.
What is it? Tell me.
Okay, I'll give you one hint. It's an Eviolite user.
Oh my god, Rhydon, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Yes, bro, yes.
Yo, ground rock. Cole hates rock. Miraidon hates lightning rock. Some people have been using this thing, man.
Dude, I saw Tub Takes Adi.
Yes.
He bought it. I saw Eternal Snowman, Michael Zhang run it.
Mm-hmm.
It's if you play Miraidon, you're very likely increasing your chances to win. And if you see a Ho-Oh, it's barbecue chicken. That's McFree.
Barbecue chicken. Yeah, in the wise words of Shaquille O'Neal. I loved it when he said it on NBA TV. You barbecue chicken.
Barbecue chicken.
Yeah, so we're gonna leave it there. But anyway, so we'll drop the duo down to the middle of low B. Okay, now how about this one? Calyrex Ice Rider Koraidon.
I think we're gonna see a really good performance from this Pokemon in the next tournament. I think that it wasn't being used that much. I don't know if I want to put it in A. Maybe it's in high B, but I think this is a good duo. I know it's a good duo, and I think high B feels safe for it.
Yeah, but like the most results you did see it was actually that first regional from Milwaukee, and after that it was like used here and there. But since then, like, you know, okay, not a whole lot there, but I do think it's like now that you have the weather on your side where there's like so much more Kyogre, I think it's a little bit more important to have that control over it.
Agree.
Yeah,
Agree.
so I do think it is due. If there was an underrated duo right now, this is one of them for sure. I think and some of the builds that can come to this. Like if I were to just put this on the screen, right? Calyrex, Ice Rider with Koraidon.
I know top players. I was hanging out with some top players when I was in Portland, like Marcus Dion Strider and William Brown, Billy Brown.
Yep.
They were both considering. They were both talking about building a team with that restricted duo. So and they're both in the top 15 or 20 in North America. So this is a pairing that people look at Kyogre, and this really does a good job into Kyogre. So I think people should watch out for this duo.
I think just even like these four are like pretty good, because you get your grass dark type for it. That's also really good into like Calyrex. You get your Raging Bolt there, your Bolt Beam coverage, also pretty good into Ogre.
Double priority, and you get Trick Room attack.
Yeah, I think something like this is just like an easy way to build around it.
Completely agree.
Yeah. All right. Then moving forward, how about here we are. How about Zamazenta Calyrex Shadow Rider?
Yeah, if you're not putting it in the S tier, I don't know what you're doing. Move it up right now. It is arguably, as of this past weekend, the best duo in the world right now. So people again it took time to figure it out. People thought it was gonna be with this Tornadus, Chin-Pao, Urshifu, Rillaboom mode, but it turns out it's this almost like setup or balance with like Ogerpon, Hearthflame, and Rillaboom, and Incineroar, and Urshifu, and Raging Bolt, and Tinglu. And there's so many ways you can play with this team. Aaron Brock got at the top 4 with Tinglu.
Yeah. The AV set, right? Yeah, with Snarl and Runation.
It had Stone Edge for Volcaronas. Yeah, and it was just like, I'm just looking at it. Like, this is an option. There's the option that has Rillaboom, Instant, Ogerpon, Hearthflame, Amoonguss. There's Raging Bolt. Like, the team is very good in this balancey style. I would say the speed ties do become quite scary in a lot of these matchups.
Of course.
Between the Zamas and the CSRs, but I mean, it had 5 out of the last top 8, and it got to another top 4 in Portland. This team is certified. So I'm saying it's S tier for sure.
I just think you can just start with these 5, and then your last slot can be like whatever. And sometimes you don't even need necessarily to Chen-Pao, but I think Amoonguss Raging Bolt is like really, really good.
Yep. I've seen the Terra Dark Life Orb CSR nasty plot.
Yeah.
Ogerpon Hearthflame, and that's a really common duo as well.
Yeah. I think just like there's a few builds there. You don't need the fast mode with Tornadus or Whimsicott. I think just like all more damage, more bulk is what you want here. More redirection. Just it helps enable
damage, priority, redirection, fake out. You get all of it.
Yeah, and it's funny because this was the duo that everyone was afraid of when the format started. Then it didn't really do anything. Well, not that it didn't do anything; it was still getting results. It just wasn't like quote unquote dominating. And now look at what happens. You give it a little bit of time, like boom, people figured things out, right?
Europeans are waiting for this one, man.
Yeah, man, of course. All right, so that being said, we don't have too much in our A tier anymore, right? But we still have things to move up from the other ones. But our last one here. As far as like the original A tier is Zamazenta Miraidon.
Don't love it. I'm gonna be honest. I think it's good. We haven't seen it do great. I think low B or the low end of high B.
The low end of high B. Okay. Yeah. So like something like right here.
It's in the middle of high B and low B. It's mid. I think it's just mid.
In the middle of high B. Oh, okay. I think I know what you're saying. So like maybe
somewhere like in a weird
some weird spot there, somewhere within the B tier, right?
Yeah.
Middle of the B tier, right? We take your high B, your low B, all right, somewhere in that boundary, right? Okay. Yeah, I mean, the Zamazenta again with the wide guard support, it's pretty good, helping against the Ice Rider matchup a little bit. But I just think Miraidon just has like a little bit more better partners, and it's not that it looks awkward here, but when you consider stuff like the Iron Hands and then the Ferrigraph, for example, as like the core, like can you really use Zom here? Like you can, it'll help.
Awkward. It just feels very awkward, and you're also in a weird speed tier. Like you don't have that much dominance in the fast mode or the slow mode. I just don't like the pairing. I'm gonna be honest, and I've even seen like Joe Ugarte used it at Portland. He went 3-3 drop, I think. So it's just like if the best players in the world are not able to find success with it, I think it's not that good of a pairing.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, we did see like some results from other regions, but like okay, maybe
Yeah.
it just needs a little bit of a rework with some of the partners. But I think we can definitely keep it in the low end of B for now. So now we're down to just one pairing in the A tier. So now let's go down to the high B, which we already put the Koraidon Calyrex Ice Rider there. How about the next one? How about CSR Koraidon? Ooh, you know it's
Ooh,
really.
Yep,
Yeah,
you're
go
gonna
ahead.
put it. I just made a team report of this team. You're gonna show it or what?
I I mean I could show the team report. I can bring
Not
it
the
up
team
on
report, not the team report, but like the signature glue piece that connects them.
the wheezing.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Galarian Weezing Zhejiang from China just finished second in the Portland VGC Regional Championships. On my channel, I made a whole 4-hour team report about this
Sorry.
archetype.
I saw that.
And Weezing is the sauce on this team.
Yes.
James Evans already used this at Milwaukee, and he knocked out Wolf Glick, right? So that we know this team's already good. This team plays well, and Weezing just makes this team so aggressive, so hard, and you are now playing on their terms. Grimmsnarl doesn't matter. Incineroar doesn't matter. Tornadus doesn't matter. All of these things that rely on their abilities, Clefairy doesn't matter. Rillaboom doesn't matter. All these Pokemon that rely on their abilities, Miraidon doesn't matter. You have to now play around this Weezing and it controls the board. And like they also, as those players know, that okay, you clearly have one Weezing counter, so now I can counter lead you. This is a really strong team. I don't know if it's S tier, but in my opinion, it's definitely at least A.
Yeah, if you got the Wheezing, like you bro, look at Bologna. Like there was like we recapped Bologna, and there was so many Wheezing Calyrex Koraidon teams down there. And you know, I did two team you know, people booked some coaching sessions with me recently, and I did two with this trio, right? Because there's two ways to really, you know, go about it. Either you play this with Dondozo, or you don't necessarily have to do it with the Dondozo.
You need to at all. Well, I'm going to be honest.
What's up?
I don't think Dondozo is the way to play this team.
You don't need to, right? Yeah, I was telling them that, but he wanted to play. It's like, okay, here you go. But you know, I understand, you know, from previous, you know, success in formats how you can use Dozo just because this has like poison gas. You chip things down, you clean things up with Dozo and Calyrex. You could definitely play that way, but I don't. You could just play, you know, just standard with this and just build off of, you know, have something like Chiyu over here and then round it out with your other two slots there. So I think even without Dozo, this is still like really good. Just because like this Weezing can shut down abilities. You don't even need poison gas. You can just go like Strange Steam, like Will-O-Wisp and Taunt, and then just be good. And then now you're just super annoying and hard to remove.
And we just talked about the best teams. Example of that was the CSR Zama. Zhejiang in Portland play against 6 or 7 of those, and he only lost, I think, once maybe. Like, this team has really favorable matchups into very strong teams. Oh my god, you have a Kyogre? I don't care. You're not getting that rain up. And because all the Koraidon have the ability shield. So this team is super strong in my opinion. And I'll say a high A tier probably for me.
Yeah, for sure. No, I'm definitely putting it up there as well. Yeah, and if you haven't checked out the team report on Darsh's channel, it's 4 hours long. Okay, there was a lot of thought and recording that went into that video. So you definitely got to give that one a watch.
Yeah, the whole point of that video is to show you how the team was built, all the EVs, all the matchups. We went through his entire run and how you can actually play every single matchup if you had to do the same thing. I bet he's an awesome player. He gives you good advice at the end of the video too. So guys, like this team in general is already really good. Like if you want to use an aggressive controlling if you want to play on your terms, this is the team to use.
Yeah, like you just have to say, no, you don't get to do what you do. You get to do what I want you to do. Yeah, that's the secret there. All right, so that was the only thing left in our well, no, I'm sorry, I was looking at the A tier. All right, next duo. How about this one? This one actually was an interesting one. Miraidon Calyrex Shadow Rider.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm not the biggest fan of this duo.
Okay.
I've played it a lot on ladder against it, and it never overwhelms me. I played it against I played against Grant Laird, who's I think a pretty good player, at a local this past weekend. And the team just doesn't feel good. If you get Trick Room up, they just really fall apart very easily. Calyrex Ice has a field day in Trick Room against this team.
What were some of the other partners like of this duo?
So he had those two. He had Iron Treads.
Yeah.
He had Incineroar.
Okay.
He had Ogerpon Wellspring,
Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
and the last Pokemon was
Oh,
I was trying to
Tailwind?
remember. I don't. Maybe it was Tornadus. Like, I don't remember. I don't want to make it up, so I don't want to misrepresent the team.
Oh yeah.
But I know this 5 was the 5 that were like brought in and around against me.
Okay.
And it just did not like I get like, okay, yes, you have Incineroar, but if I get up Trick Room a lot of the times, like you have to make hard reads. Like he had to try to like switch in Incineroar onto, like, for example, I would lead like Miraidon and Iron Hands. He led Iron Treads and Calyrex Shadow. So now he's like, oh, I apply the pressure. So I just Electro Drifted into his Iron Treads turn 1. He brought an incident and it died.
Oh man.
Because they're trying to do all these cute things, because you have to make all these hard aggressive reads to control the board, but all your pieces are really held by Incineroar. Like that's it. Other than that, they all just fall apart and are barbecue chicken. It was like I played Gramp, great player, 2 times, and I beat him both times. It was pretty McFree. So like my point is that team just does not feel like a powerful duo, especially if you're playing against Trick Room. It's very easy to overwhelm.
Tell me, where do you put it?
I don't know, man. I think it's probably like at the very top of low B. I have no respect, in my opinion, low key for this duo.
Okay. Yeah, we can put it in low B. Like, again, it still has some regional results. Like, you can definitely get away with stuff like, Whimsicott here, and just support it with stuff like, Farigiraf and some like more traditional builds. But like we said, there's better partners for Calyrex and there's better partners for Miraidon there.
There's so many options to choose from. It's like if you could easily look at something and find its flaws, it's hard to make a good argument for it.
Okay. Next. Okay. How about this one? Very popular duo amongst the fans. Okay. Both of these are coming up. How about, here we go, Kyogre, Calyrex, Ice Rider.
Oh, the trauma this team has given me, guys. In Portland, I had 3 losses. One was to a really bad, like, for context, I played against Ryan Haig, amazing player. He played Koraidon Lunala, and I only lost because my Iron Hands, which was over half health, got crit by a -2 Draco Meteor outside of terrain with Assault Vest. But my other 2 losses were to the exact same team, Kyogre, Calyrex Ice, built by Kerry Daytona and Andrew Figueroa. I don't know if I want to pronounce Andrew Figueroa, or however you say his name properly. This team is just dominant. Absolutely dominant. Can play. It has Tailwind. It has Trick Room. It has spread damage. It has weather control. It has redirection. It has fake out. It has literally everything. It has damage reduction. Like I was talking to Kerry about this. I'm like, dude, your team literally has every single component of every single like strategy. Trick Room, Tailwind, fake out, redirect, sleep, damage reduction and snarl, terrain control, weather control. You have everything. And that's why a lot of good players like this team. And this was the 6. To me, it's A. I'm not gonna put an S yet because now people know it's coming. I think once you know it's coming, let's see how it does now. But it kicked my ass twice in the tournament. And I think it's definitely has to be in the A tier.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's exactly where I was gonna put it. I think right now, as of like today, June 3rd, this is exactly where I would put the duo. And again, I think I mentioned this earlier. We have a variation of this coming out as one of our rentals. So if you want to try something, again, very similar to Carry, stay tuned for what we got to put out. But this is like the core 5 there. I put something else in that 6th slot. You'll have to see what it is. But
guys, stay tuned and watch, because like Clover builds awesome teams. So if you want to watch the Carry video and understand his team, you can watch my video. But Clover's videos, he makes such awesome teams that are like really cool. People actually use them and play world tournaments. So stay tuned for what he's gonna drop, because he's gonna drop some sauce for you guys.
Yeah, free knowledge. And I was taking notes like on some people that were like using this. Like I saw like some similar ideas. So I just kind of fit it to like what I want to do with it. And it's like you look at it, it's like, oh wait, isn't this like almost the same thing? It is, but when you look at what I was trying to do with it, it's like, oh, okay, this plays like this. He's got this move instead of that move. It's like, oh, okay, now some other lines open up that
we're cooking.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, definitely within the A tier. It's good. They have good synergy with each other. Okay, how about this one? Swordfish.
Yeah. I feel like it's good, but I still feel like we have it on the right spot.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. I think it's right where it is right now. Right there with the high B tier. Again, you saw what the potential that it was doing. Just it didn't do well in Milwaukee, right? But after that, it finally started to cook a little bit. We put the build out a little bit earlier, but I think high B is actually right where we want it to be.
100%
Again,
agree.
yeah, like Zacian in the rain has always been solid.
Yep.
You get to pressure the Raging Bolts, the Miraidons, the Rillabooms just because of your fairy coverage, and you have Behemoth Blade,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then you just have like other partners like Urshifu that are like really strong with it. Iron Hands,
It
and you
also
can even play
makes you
screens. Yeah,
it's a mon you have to respect. Like Zacian, if you play well, it doesn't feel super hard, but when you look at it in the moment, it feels hard. Like it commands a lot of respect, and you are playing around that mon because it outspeeds your Miraidons, it
yep,
outspeeds your Zamazentas, it outspeeds a lot of your Pokemon except CSR. It outspeeds your Koraidon too, right? And it's like it's the best Pokemon in my opinion at pressuring Terra right now.
yeah.
It always pressures Terra. So I think it's good. I don't know how good it is. Like I don't think it's better than this. I'm still waiting for a top 8 result from this team. We haven't seen one yet. So I think the high B is where it can stay.
Yeah, let's see what happens. Yeah, but
Yeah,
I think right now it's a good duo. Like I think it's
yeah,
always going to be like fine. It's just you need like a little bit of luck, right? Especially
yeah.
with, like Origin Pulses and Hydro Pumps and Play Roughs. You do need some
You
luck on
do.
your side.
Yeah, it's a when it feels good, I'm sure it feels great. And I'm sure when it feels bad, it really feels bad. So like Koraidon looks at this sometimes, and I'm sure Koraidon has such a good matchup into that team. Like, oh my god.
Okay.
Like you pressure both really well. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's good. I think it's very good. I think it's very good, and that's about it.
Okay. All right. Well, we've got the S tier, we got the A tier, and we got the B tier. Notice how we're going -1 every single time. That's because we're stacking up our B tier here. But look at our low B. We dropped Miraidon Kyogre there. You know what? Actually, no, we didn't even touch upon this. We just moved
Oh,
things
we didn't
within the
touch on
middle
it.
of low B. You know what's actually a pretty cool like idea here with the Miraidon and Kyogre. Actually, it's not even like a cool idea. It's just like, oh, okay, that actually seems pretty normal. You
Show
just
me.
yeah, you just put Talon on this. Like, okay, instead of Whimsicott, you could just put Tornadus here, which is
Yep.
it's the same idea as like a Whimsicott, giving you Tailwind. You can
Yep.
still get Urshifu here. Okay, you can still get Iron Hands here, which Iron Hands has been coming on those Kyogre Rain teams. Okay,
And Serena.
yeah, and then you just exactly then you just add Serena, right? Or it's
Boom.
like some other Ogre Pond there, and then you're good.
Yeah, yeah. I think that this team is. I mean, again, we were talking about it earlier. It went 11-0 in Swiss, and
Yeah,
I forget what the name of which you're. I think Utrecht, and I played against it, and it just applies so much pressure. I think you can't allow Trickers to go up. That's why Serena is there. But into everything else, it's very overwhelming. And you can't sleep the Kyogre now, which you're used to. You can't grassy glide it now because of the Serena and the electric terrain. There's a lot of cool techs on this team. And I think if there's a way to use it for right now, this is the way to do it. I don't know if there's a balance mode to this team yet, but this seems like it'd be a very strong way to use a team.
yeah. Like I like the 6, like even just this 5. And if you really want to put Ferrograph there, okay, sure. I think it's a little passive if you have both Ferrograph and Tornadus there. It's still like okay, but I think Serena's like also like really good just
The
to not,
damage you get, the
yeah.
helping hand you get, that stuff is, the icicle,
Ice
the ice,
coverage, man. It's
yeah,
strong.
very good.
Yeah, I think honestly I almost want to bump it, but I'm gonna keep it exactly where it needs to be. I think the high end of the low B tier is like okay, where do you want to put it?
Yeah, I think it's probably in the right spot. I
Yeah,
think it's like I don't know if I would put it. I've only seen one team ever be good with this duo, so I can't just sit here and say like it's high B yet, but I could definitely say it probably is in a good spot the way it is right now in low B.
okay, yeah, I think that we're okay there. So we already discussed that we actually moved this pairing down to
Yep.
low B tier. Look at how about the next one? So instead of swordfish, how about I don't know what you would call this shieldfish?
Shieldfish, man, shieldfish.
I don't even know. Zamazenta Kyogre in the slot of Zacian there. What do you say to that? You get Wyguard now.
Yeah, I think that I think it's good. I think I saw some top players using it, like Jody Azarelli, I believe, was playing this team. Marcus Dion was playing this team, but they all performed really bad. Like they didn't really play that well with this duo. So like I think it does everything in theory that's good, but it's very passive in my opinion. Like very passive. You're never going first. You're never doing as much damage as the other Pokemon. It's like you're caught in this awkward middle of the ground play, which you have to now rely on Tailwind. I don't love it. I do think it's good, but I'll be real, I don't love it. I think it's in a pretty safe spot.
Yeah, I think low B is like correct for where it is right now. I think if you really want to like do damage, just put Zacian in that slot. Like yes, you do get wide guard here. If you have the Zamazenta, which maybe might be more valuable in certain cases for sure.
Yeah.
But what are you really wide guarding Kyogre for? Like you resist Glacial Lance. Your spread def is pretty good. You can take Astral Barrage. You're not weak to it. So what are we really wide guarding for? You know?
And it's like every turn, again, this is someone I think this is true theory. Every turn you're wide guarding, you're not doing damage.
Exactly. Yes, that's how you play around it. That's what I always like to say.
And you think about it this way, it's like you have to wide guard and then they have to attack for you to get it right. If you wide guard and they don't do that, then you're falling so far behind. And I don't know. I just don't. I'm not a big Zamazenta guy.
Okay. Well, that's fine. Well, we'll leave it there for now. How about okay? Yeah, no, we didn't talk about this duo. Kyogre, Calyrex, Shadow Rider.
We haven't.
Nah, this one is just like asking for Tailwind or something like that, right? But now you get to actually outspeed some stuff.
Well, the only team that has used this duo and performed well is actually Chef and Ben Grismer, where he uses it with Kyogre, Calyrex, Ice, Weezing, Indeedee Female, and Dondozo. That's how he uses the team. And he actually goes double choice on the two restricteds. He goes choice Scarf on the Ogre and choice Specs on the Cali Shadow. And it's a crazy team. He's an absolutely nut job of a team builder. He's super cool in that way. They call him Chef for a reason.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
This is the only comp that I've seen do well.
I think Indeedee does make sense here, just with like the Torn Earth stuff, because again, you get the Serena Ferrograph effect where you stop the Grassy Glides and the Thunderclaps into the Ogre, and now you're also helping the Calyrex because now you get Expanding Force, you get Chircum and Terrain on your side. So like there is like merit behind this. Yes. And then this last slot could be like whatever, maybe an Iron Hands or something. But yeah, like you could run the Dozo stuff for sure. But I think if you're gonna do this, I think this is like one of the easiest main builds that you could do. So yeah, I guess we can again also leave it within the low B there. I think it's okay. It's fast, it's aggressive.
I think it's at the very bottom of low B.
We can put it there. Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Then we got, well, I think we passed some of these, right? The Zamazenta Miraidon, we said it was like a little bit awkward, but can be okay. Okay, we dropped Ho-Oh Miraidon down here. Okay, it had its time in the sun. All right, this one, Lunala and Calyrex Ice Rider together.
It's just the only hard Trick Room team.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's probably in the right spot. It seems very basic. No one's using it. It's too predictable, too linear.
This one uses like the Smeargle stuff sometimes, right? And then like Torkoal ideas.
Torkoal, Dark Urshifu.
Yeah, this is it. Like if you want to keep things simple for yourself, like yeah, just do this, and then this could be like whatever. But Expanding Force Lunala, decorate stuff. Okay, decorate and then Torkoal comes in, clicks Eruption. Yeah, you know what you're getting with this, but you can play around it relatively easy, especially like with there's a reason why hard Trick Room teams have a hard time, quote unquote, or not pun intended, always getting like super high placements, is because they have like one way of doing things or maybe two, and it's easy to predict. Like they want the Trick Room, they want the Torkoal when the Indeedee dies, the Decorate wants to come out with the Calyrex.
If you built your team the right way, you will find ways to beat this team.
Oh, for sure.
I think in Reg G, it was better because there's not as many good high base stat. You didn't have a whole other restricted. And now you can just throw Zamazenta on your team. And they press wide guard the whole time.
Wide guard Eruption, wide guard Glacial Lance, wide guard Expanding Force. So now what are you clicking?
Yeah, I know exactly.
Yeah, so I think we can keep it in the low B tier for sure. Like, you can get 6-2. You can make day 2, right?
Yeah, you could.
Yeah, for sure.
For the right matchup, you could.
Yeah. All right. How about this? Okay, this is one where they were asking for this in the comments. I think. How about Koraidon Ho-Oh.
It's probably in the right spot. Yeah. I'm not gonna hate on it too much, but
I
I think
almost
about
want
it.
to put it in C.
If you throw a Kyogre on that field, that whole restricted duo falls apart. Even Miraidon with like electric thunderbolt, like electric attacks, dragon type attacks, and fairy type attacks. You're hitting all of it super effective. I don't know. I don't love the duo. It's cool because oh my god, like 4 different types, but that all use the sun. I get that, but there's no spread damage. There's no like. There's I don't like it. I don't like it.
Well, yeah, it's like, okay, yeah, I can abuse the sun. I get like super effective damage in the sun, strong sacred fires. I guess you could do some stuff with like Brute Bonnet and Raging Bolt again, just to help your Ogre and, Calyrex match up a little bit. I can totally see this. And then maybe you add a Flutter Mane here. Now you got 3 Protomons. Okay. Yeah. I can see it. Maybe an Ogre Pond here. Somewhere. Or this thing. How about the Ursaluna? And maybe you get like some fake out mon here. Yeah, I could see something like this. Right?
Yeah, you know what? If you find the right pairings and the right time, like I would say if there's a time to do it, it's now. Like if you can learn how to beat Kyogre and Miraidon, then this team can do good.
Yeah, we got it right here. We just bring in these homies, right? And then you bring in Ursaluna, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I can see it. I do think you need the Ursaluna here for sure. And Raging Bolt. I think those two are a little bit non-negotiable there. What's up?
Well, Ursaluna's awkward because the team feels very awkward because you can't click Trick Room with anything.
Oh yeah, that's right. Wait a minute. What? Oops. Wait. I okay. All right. Hear me out. Wait.
Stop it.
Yo, listen. Is there any more global challenges coming up? Oh man. All right. We'll leave it. I almost want to put it in the C tier. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't think it's even in B, man. I think you put it in the C tier.
Yeah, let's drop it a little bit. Maybe it could be Q. Who knows? All right. So then that moves it. Oh, I think we put these ourselves, right? Wait, did we put Koraidon Zum here? I can't remember anymore.
I would just put it lower. There's never been a team that used it.
We didn't. Yeah, I think this is also like relatively niche. We did this. We definitely, I know, we put at the end of the low B tier. All right. So that being said, okay, we bumped. We actually didn't really change much. We just fleshed out our low B tiers a little bit. So this is what we got at the moment. We got Kyogre Miraidon Calyrex Shadow Rider, Kyogre Zamazenta Miraidon Ho-Oh, Lunala Kyogre, and then Kyogre Calyrex Shadow Rider, and then Hard Trick Room with Lunala and the Ice Rider. So we still got a lot of Kyogres in the low B tier, but we have a couple in the higher and the A tier at least, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So and like look at Miraidon's best partners. What are they right now?
I'm seeing Cali Ice. I'm seeing Trick Room and Lunala.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean it loves the Trick Room option. It loves it.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it'll stay that way for a while. And those are very much clearly like your best partners for it right now. And the Pagos, we'll stay tuned for that one. But again, you still got CSR Pagos, but we haven't found another good duo yet until we talked about the thing a little bit below there. Anyway, some Koraidon teams are still okay. Like you still got this hasn't really changed since Milwaukee. Like Koraidon CSR, Koraidon Lunala, the strong fighting type with the strong ghost type. They'll always find its way within top 4 usage in a regional, right? Yeah. But now let's go into the C tier. Now we get some interesting things to talk about here. So we dropped these 2 down to the C, so we won't discuss them here. But how about this next one? Lunala Terapagos.
I think there's nothing there, to be honest. They do the same thing. Like there's never, if you ever got a result before, to me it's pretty it's not good.
It's not double. You're just arguing like, okay, Jay, just use CSR, and you're good because you can't both do Calm Mind here, right? Like,
Exactly. And then what are you wide guarding from? Astral Barrage? No.
yeah, this you need the disable encore stuff. I think that's a little bit more valuable. Zamazenta Calyrex Ice Rider.
Also, not really good. They're both really weak to fire, weak to sun. Not seeing a lot there.
Okay. How about all right. Wait. How about this next one? Maybe, who knows? Another okay, we got a ghost type with a fighting type. So let's see. What's your thoughts on the Lunala Zamazenta double wide guard?
Yeah. I'm gonna something get hater, but I don't believe in this either. What do you think about these pairings, man?
Nah, you don't need both. I think just be more aggressive. Like the Zamazenta itself is the supportive thing, right? You don't need the Lunala to be supportive for the supportive either, right? One of them is good. You don't need two support restrictors. You want the offensive one and the supportive one, right? Yeah, that's what I'm saying here. Okay, how about this one? This one had like this was like an older Sword and Shield favorite that we just put there just because maybe it can do something. How about, again, Groudon? Okay, there were a couple of Groudon teams since Milwaukee. Groudon CSR.
I think that this pairing has a little bit higher potential because you can do weird stuff with like sleep and stuff. There's still a level of like an enablement elements to it. I don't know if I put it into low B. But I think it owns this. I think it owns this tier. I think there's something here. I don't know what it is, but you could put something with like maybe like a Jump Luff or like a Lilligant or a Venusaur or something. I don't know what you want to put there, but something that can like put things to sleep and give you some pressure. Like, yeah, I think this team could theoretically do something. Have like a little trick room option somewhere, maybe. I don't know, but I think this team could do something in theory.
Yeah, I think Chiyu will always come to like some Koraidon or Groudon team just because it does well, and then support the special attacking restricted. You are a dark type, and then you get Tailwind here with like a Jump Buff to help you out, and you Spore things or Sleep Powder things, and then these last two slots can be like whatever. But I think this is at least a decent starting point, and for that reason, this is why like we keep it in the C tier, but I don't know if it can climb up into the low B, but I definitely would want to put it up here at the very least. Definitely better than like Pogos, Lunala stuff and whatnot. Yeah, for sure.
There's always something to build off.
Yeah. I like this. I don't hate this. I don't know if I can like write home to mom about it, but I don't hate it. It's okay. Maybe it could do something. Okay. How about your Jin Fury idea here with the Necrozma Calyrex?
Yeah, no, drop it even one more.
Ooh, damn. We're going down to the don't use.
It's a good first tournament team. First tournament of the format. Yeah. Not anymore.
That was like, oh, okay. It's first tour. No one's gonna think I'm gonna bring this, and then okay. Yeah, we just use Lunala, guys. Okay. All right. How about all right, now we got some other interesting ideas. Okay, look. The old, this in Dynamax, this was like struck. Okay, Calyrex CSR Zacian.
I think that's in the right spot. Again, like I don't know how good of a duo it is, and like again, Trick Room really just eats this thing alive. Also the weather teams both feel like they have an advantage here. Don't love it. Also like it feels like you need Tailwind because if they have Tailwind or Trick Room, you're cooked. I think it's in the right spot. Maybe you could figure something out with it, but I think it's in the right spot.
Yeah, same here. I think you're definitely gonna like find some. This almost screams Regidrago variationization stuff, right? Like, remember that concept? You just had Tailwind. You nuke something with, what's that thing called?
Regidrago.
Yeah. Well, Dragon Energy, and then Zacian just comes in and cleans out, and then now you have Calyrex coming in to do that. But then you pair it with an Indeedee, take away like priority. It's like, okay, sure. Yeah, C tier.
It's C tier. Yeah.
Okay. How about another Zacian idea? Zacian Calyrex Ice Rider.
I would argue this is like the D tier. I don't see any synergy here. They're both physical. They both are weak to sun. They're both weak to fire type, one of the most common types in the game. I don't see anything here for me personally.
Hold up. Okay. I hear what you're saying, but do you know who Alt Kyle is?
No, who is that?
Yo, okay. So if you go on Lab Mouse right now, right, Alt Kyle, he's a UK player. This guy has been like topping and winning, grassroots tournaments with this duo. Like he's won like not like
Okay.
he's won like 8 of these or something. Like bro, I was like, yo, what is this? He's the only one using this duo.
Is there a Pelipper on the team? There has to be.
There is a Pelipper on the team. Yeah. There is a Pelipper. Yeah, it's Pelipper Ursh.
The only way you can enable this team at all.
Yeah. This is it. This is it because now you get weather control and you get wide guard, all right? And now you got these two homies here doing stuff. I was like, yo, he's the only one using this.
Yeah,
he's
okay, so maybe we'll keep. If you want to put some respect on Kyle's name, we can keep it in C if you like.
Yeah, we'll call this if we had to put another tier here, we'll call it the Alt Kyle tier. This is where this duo is gonna land up right there. Okay.
Kyle tier. The homie tier. We can put Jin and Jin's thing in there. The homie tier.
Okay, well, how about something a little bit more interesting? Groudon Calyrex Ice Rider.
I sound like the biggest hater ever, but I just don't see anything there. Like I just don't see anything. Like we're in the tier now where like some of these C tiers were C tiers, and now I'm like some of these C tiers are D tiers.
Yeah, man, I hear you.
I'm not gonna call it a D tier, but it just really requires Trick Room. It really requires like these Sun partners, but like I don't know how. I don't know. I don't really believe. I don't buy it. I don't believe. I'm not a believer.
Yeah, the only reason why we don't drop it into like the D tier for guys is like, okay, you look at this D tier, yeah, okay, it's at least better than these things, right? So we can't drop it all the way down there. The C tier is like the things you can't drop just because you can't, and it's like nowhere near where some of these B and higher usage rates are. Yeah, now we got some funky stuff. All right, Eternatus Lunala.
D.
Yeah, I think I was like, I don't even know what you do here.
Yeah.
Well, okay. You can wide guard the Glacial Lance. Okay, you can do that.
There's something.
Yeah.
Wide guard the garage if you want.
I think this is the next one. All right, how about this one? Lunala Groudon.
I'm curious what you think. I don't think it's I think everything we're looking at, except for a couple things that I'm seeing, I think are just like arguably just throw them into the D tier. Like if there's no use case for them, it's hard to justify them. But I think C tier is fine. Like I'm sure somewhere, somehow, again, it's like CSR. It's like the CSR's Groudon. I'm sure there's like some Sun use with Chi-Yu and like Brute Bonnet and stuff there. I'm sure it exists. So
yeah, old school Lunadon, right before Scarlet and Violet. Okay, great. You do need to wide guard the Glacial Lance. You do like Trick Room here. You are a little bit supportive, right? You got the supportive restricted with the offensive restricted, right? So you can definitely still do something. You just got to make sure you hit Precipice Blades, right?
Yeah, right? Like,
oh, man. And then at least the Groudon can help against Incineroar, which Lunala hates. So there's that. I'm keeping it C.
Only if you're Clear Amulet, which also is
yeah,
you have to run Clear Amulet now, which is a little annoying.
Yeah, but little do we know that there were some interesting Groudon teams that we saw from Bologna. And on that note, well, no, we're not there yet. Okay. Okay. How about this one? Zacian Lunala. Oh my goodness, Ryan. How did you put this here? This is Ryan. This is Sableye tier list, guys. Yeah, well, we just added pairs, but yeah. Anyway, Zacian Lunala.
I'm not a big believer, but what do you think though?
Nah, I don't. I don't need it. Like I don't need Lunala for Zacian here. Like if this was Dynamax, okay, maybe I can Phantasm, get a defense drop. It's ain't Dynamax though. So I'm gonna leave this here. I want to drop it in D tier, but I can't. It's just not nearly as bad as these guys. All right, now we got okay. Well, depends on you. Let's see, Groudon, Miraidon.
I think I saw Junshi use this duo, and he did very well with it. And then you were saying Bologna. I'm not too familiar about what happened in Italy. I would love for you to tell me what you saw.
Well, okay, so we can pull up Lab Mouse here, right? Just real quick, right?
Let's do it.
And if anything, we can even just like use. Oh, hello, we got a little advertisement there. All right, we can pull up Groudon, and we can pull up Miraidon. I think it's this like Assault Vest build that's running around with Miraidon and hold on, let me just put this. Yeah, look at this. So like it actually got a really high placement. Look at this, 9th place here in Portland.
Yeah. So Bezod as well. So Bezod's team build.
Right. Yeah, let's like look at this. So you've got the screens concepts, right? AV Miraidon, bulk up Groudon with the amulet, and then Incin, Flutter main stuff. Okay, so like it's Taunt, Icy Wind, and then Grim Screens, of course. So like, look at this: Grimmsnarl, Instant, Groudon, like the old school pairing from Sword and Shield, right? Yep. Now you modernize it and add like Fluttermane for photosynthesis stuff, Volcarona support, Tailwind, and then Miraidon comes in.
Yeah. I think like it's telling us it's succeeding right now, right? Like it's clearly succeeding. I don't think we can go as high as like high B. No. In my mind, you can probably, there's only really one version of it that's doing well. Like if you're gonna put it anywhere, it's at the top of C or at the bottom of low B. I'm curious where you want to put it.
Yeah, well, also like, hold on, I don't think Ladmouse has it up yet, but let me go into Pokédata over here, right? And just show you the other variants.
Yeah.
So if I go here to Bologna, let's go to Masters. I have to scroll a little bit to get to the Groudon team, but there were a few in day 2. Okay, if I can, I just can't remember the placements, but it's here somewhere.
I believe it. Yeah, go digging for a little bit.
Yeah. It wasn't that like, it's not like at the bottom of day 2, but actually I think it was. But hold on. All right, we're scrolling going to video. I wish I remembered where it was. Unless I already passed. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, there was a couple like we're starting to see them. All right, here's this first one. So Groudon, Miraidon. It's actually AV Groudon. Okay. All right, 6'5" by the way. Yeah, AV Groudon with Rock Tomb, Specs Miraidon, Instant again, Whimsicott Tailwind with screens, and then you got the Encore Disabled Perish Song Screamtail. Yo.
Interesting. I think it's probably really good against players who are not prepared, like day 1, 6 and 2. But it sounds like anyone who is relatively decent, like in this higher level of competitive play, it got bodied by that. So
okay. Yo,
this is a team where you can probably make day 2 with it.
Okay.
But
this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying. I like this one just a little bit more.
That one's aggressive.
Yeah. Look, you got the Indeedee here with Calyrex Shadow Rider. So you got expanding force stuff. You got Tailwind, and here's the Chiyu.
There's no Miraidon anymore. The pairing is Miraidon Groudon.
Oh shoot! There you go. Yeah, you're. Wait. Okay. I miscued it. But okay. Yeah. Let's actually go back there. Okay. So you got one result. So honestly, I think I'm gonna keep it where it is.
Yeah, I think we can move maybe toward the top of it, like the earlier side. Yeah, somewhere like around there.
Yeah, like the higher end of the C tier.
I would move it to the number 2 slot there.
Yeah, I think that's correct.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, you got. Did we do? No, we didn't do this one. Zacian Miraidon.
Not a huge believer. I think I've seen it on ladder a couple times. Maybe at the top of the tier somewhere.
Dragon Fury Steel Core.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you just always want that Trick Room partner with Miraidon here. Two offensive ones, like okay, or 2 fast ones. You can kind of see it a little bit, right? Like look at this. Look at your S tier for a second. Fast, slow, fast, little bit fast. Fast, slow. Down here, fast, slow, right? Like there's a theme here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Contrasts it's like yin and yang, right? If it was just one big white circle with a black dot, that's a boring thing. But yin and yang, it's balance. And like every great team has great balance and unity. And I think like stuff like Miraidon and Zacian, like they're very much single target attackers. And like, why would you want to go Terra Fairy Dazzle when you have Play Rough? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make that much sense to me.
Now you've got Zamazenta Groudon.
That's just trash. Let's call it what it is.
Oh, wait, I can wide guard the Glacial Lance, but if you're gonna do that, you can just use Lunala, right? I think it's just a little bit better in that sense. Yeah. If I could drop it any further, I would, but I'll respect it just for because I'm looking at this. And I think this is falling even. We're within the same category. Like look at this: Pagos, Zamazenta, Pagos Ho-Oh.
Well, I would say Pagos Zamazenta definitely gets dropped. But I do think that I see something in the D tier that only one of them I really want to talk about. And it's his brother, it's Zacian. I think Zacian Pagos is actually pretty good. I've been playing it a lot recently against it. My friend Kaysun Thompson, I played him at the 4-0 table. He's been running this for a while. Kaysun, I did kick your ass. You are McFree, my friend. He's my good friend, one of my best friends. And then I played at another local in Delaware, and in or semifinals, I had to play another version of this team.
Tell me the six,
It's
if
in,
you remember.
it's in C. It's in C for sure. But against the right matchup, like for example, if you have this duo with Rock Pond, now the Volcarona counter is a little bit better. He had like Iron Hands, he had Grim Snarl, and he had Volcarona as his last.
Wow.
I think that was his 6. This is something I've seen. I think it's like good into certain matchups, but into most teams, it can get overrun. I think he still made day 2 though. So in my opinion, like I think this duo should get a little bit more respect. I put it at least at the top of C.
Yeah, I think we can definitely put it there. I'm just trying to search like if we have anything as of late, with this duo. Like you got the 6, yeah, you got the 6-4 from Portland over here. There's the Annihilate over there. That's pretty cool. But other than that, not a whole lot.
Annihilate, I think over Iron Hands.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, he had the ape there. Look at this. So well, no, these are like some grassroots stuff. We haven't seen any too much in the regional level there. Yeah, we can just bump it up into the C tier for sure. Yeah. All right, now, is there anything here in the D tier that besides that one that you think we can move up? Let's save some time.
Not really. They're all trash. I think Rayquaza, Calyrex Shadow is the only one that I've been playing against a little bit. I've seen that a little bit, so I'd probably put that into bottom of C. I'm being serious. I've been seeing a lot of Rayquaza, CSR, Rayquaza, Miraidon that have like actually been semi-decent. So I'll put it in the C tier.
Yeah, because of the rise of the weather duos, right? With the Miraidon stuff. No, I'm sorry, the Kyogre is rising, and then Koraidon was already like good. So okay, let's just take that away. If you really wanted to do that, why not just use Weezing? You don't need a restricted slot for that, right?
I agree.
Yeah.
I've seen it with like Pao or Urshifu, like that duo with like Raging Bolt. Like, there's some interesting stuff, but I'm not a big believer, but I've seen it on High Ladder a lot recently, a little bit. So yeah.
All right, now we added a couple of pairs that got some results that again weren't really like on the original list. Look at that. How about Groudonzation? Like, do you remember where you saw Groudonzation?
Groudonzation was Renya Sun in Sword and Shield.
More or less, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
With the screens concept. But do you remember where it came from like just recently?
No, I do not remember.
All right. Well, let us do a little backtrack in memory lane here. Wait, no, that's not right. That's it. Wait. Hold on. Let me refilter here. I was like, wait a second. No, this definitely got something. I don't think yeah, there we go. Okay. Back in Utrecht, there was one placement here. Look at 8 and 3. It was from age.
That's a very good result.
Yeah, I think you always need something like this, like a Chi-Yu and then a Jump Bluff with Groudon, and then just build around these 3. And then okay, I guess you can pick a restricted after that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just you need Groudon to have some level of like offensive speed threat, which is what that provides you. So it's probably in the C tier somewhere.
Tell me why you can't put like CSR in this slot, and then it looks like arguably better.
Completely agree with you.
Yeah, because I guess this can still pressure the Ice Rider slot, but then so can CSR.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm looking at this now. Like, yeah, you can just put CSR here, and then Walking Wake is still pretty good. You can you got your Snarl user here. And then Chi-Yu CSR looks good. Then yeah, and then I think we're just chilling after that. Like I think that's a little bit better. But this was like a couple of weeks ago. So where are we putting it? Where I think
the very bottom of C.
yeah, but I think with just one result there, I think that's exactly where you want to put it. Somewhere within the C. I don't think it's anywhere near the top of the C, but I think it's like, yeah, you could do something. If this was Dynamax, okay, different story, but it's not.
Yeah.
Okay, now finally, well, actually, before we even look, how about Ho-Oh Calyrex Shadow Rider?
You just throw it in the bottom of C.
Yeah, man. I look at all your Ho-Oh teams, man. It's C. Yeah. They're all in the C tier now, and I think that's kind of correct. It's what Ho is supposed to do. Like, okay, you got the Tailwind, you got the pressure against the Ogre Ponds and whatnot. Okay, sure. It's nice into Koraidons and Zamazenta. So
now the Raging Bolt coming more popular too. It's like this thing is not good right now.
Yeah, more Bolt, more Kyogre now. It's like that's what Ho didn't want, and now you're here. So now you gotta drop all your Ho teams more or less. Okay, now we get into the more recent pop up with Miraidon and Pagos.
Yeah, I think it's probably like low B,
Yeah,
like the
where I was
very
gonna put it.
bottom of low B. Curious what you think about this team because you've been seeing it. We saw it pop up. We talked about it earlier in the video already, but I'm curious because I shared a lot about my thoughts about the Sinistra and the Electric Seed, but I want to hear what you think about the team.
I think it's the Sinistra that really like makes it work here. In all honesty,
Yeah.
because like if you were to mention this to me, not the Sinistra part, but like if you mentioned these two in the beginning of the format, I'd be like, wait, but you blow up your own terrain if you Terra this thing, right? So like, what why would you need this? So
Yes.
and then now you add the Sinistra here. Okay, it's like, oh, okay, wait a second. Now I can just pivot in and out, get healing. Now the Sinistra and Pagos actually makes sense. Of course, that's been true before. You get recovery, you go back to full health, you get trick room for yourself, you redirect the fighting move because you're a ghost type.
Yep.
So like, okay, there's that. And then now why does that also work with Miraidon?
The Sinistra because I mean when you're switching in and out, right? Like there's also in ground type attacks, kind of if there's like an earth power or something is always good. But also now it's like, all right, well I can volt switch hospitality and then do a lot of stuff like that.
Exactly. That's the whole concept, right? You just volt switch and then you get in free hospitality recovery, and then from there you know what the 3 is coming up. This is like the newest thing from Bologna, and there was like 2 of them, I think.
There was a bunch. There was two that did well. Then Marco Silva did not make day 2 with the same team.
A little unlucky there. Yeah, I think we could even see it over here. I think they were both in top 16. Like one was in the top 8, obviously, right? Yeah, this is it. C Pagos with Calm Mind. So now you're getting a defense and SPDF boost. You got Instant for more reduction. Now this is your disable user, right? Which you always kind of want with Pagos, just to help you against the fighting types. And then Iron Treads is like that aggressive slot that you can put with Miraidon over here. So yeah, I think, is this like the be all end all for it? I don't know. I think there's more exploration need to be had, and anytime when there's more exploration to be had, we always put that in the B tier of some sort. Like there's potential to duo, but you're not sure if those are like the strongest partners, right?
Yeah, agreed. I mean, I think if someone gets top 8, top 16, and Marco Silva all use it, it has potential. So
yeah, I think you need the Sinistra here. That's definitely for sure. All right, so now we pretty much so like now we're looking at this. So we've really taken away a lot from the high B tier, and we moved a lot of things down. But back in our first video, like we had a lot of B tier Kyogres, and we still do. But there's the two best ones, Swordfish and Ice Rider.
Agreed. Yeah, 100% agreed. I think that it's the one that's got the most results, like straight up. That's it. And I think that it makes sense in every way, as we discussed earlier, and I think it's in the right spot.
Yeah, I think just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These 9 probably are like your meta right here.
If you're going to a regional championship, you have to have a plan into one of these 9. The odds are also the team that you're playing with right now in Pokemon Showdown or on the Pokemon best of 1 ladder on cart is also one of these 9. So, in my opinion, again, I'm telling you guys, someone who's going to NAIC, I am practicing against this, and I'm using one of these 9 as well. Because that's how you have to prepare and be. Again, maybe you have a cool idea. I encourage you to try them. But this is the 9 that I think we've isolated as the main threats.
Yeah, and then like some potentially are in the low B tier. Like again, we'll see what happens with Miraidon, Pagos, and some of these other like you'll probably run into like that one hard Trick Room guy here.
Yeah, if you guys use it, like if I want to play against one of those teams because then it's gonna be McFree, and that's what I want. So I want to
I want to see a Groudon team again to get some high placement there.
You love the sun. I'm noticing something, a trend about Cloverbells. Cloverbells loves the sun.
Yo, the listen, how are you gonna beat these Kyogre teams, man? You're just gonna slap on Raging Bolt every time? You gotta do something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, bro.
All right. So so as we wrap it up here, Darsh, so this is where can you make any predictions for NAIC? Give me a hot take here. Maybe a slept on duo that maybe people aren't really thinking about just yet. What are your thoughts here?
My slept on duo is Koraidon Ice Rider. That is my slept on duo. I think it's gonna come back purely out of Kyogre hatred. Also, it's not terrible against CSR Zama either. I also think we could see a Ho-Oh revival. I don't know what version of Ho-Oh it is, but also very good versus CSR Zama. So I think I'll say my dark horse is Koraidon Lunala and Koraidon Ice Rider. Those are my two dark horses that I can see coming back with the vengeance.
Yeah, I definitely my pick would have also been like the Koraidon Ice Rider. You know, it had some like good stuff in Milwaukee. I think if people were to revisit that and maybe flesh it out a little bit more now, I think you can definitely get something there. Especially now that there's more Kyogre running around, and if people are going to explore these Terapagos teams with CSR and even Miraidon, then even more reason to have the Calyrex and the Koraidon, come in. So we'll see what happens. That's our dark horse pick. What's winning NAIC?
Ooh, that's a great question. I'm going to go with I don't think it's going to be the CSR. I don't think it's going to be CSR Zama. I think weather always performs well at these tournaments. I'm going to say that Koraidon and Ice Rider will win the regional.
Oh, so the dark horse pick is going to win NAIC. Koraidon, and you said Koraidon Ice Rider.
Yep, I think that's going to finish. I think my backup is Koraidon. I mean, the Miraidon Ice Rider. I think Miraidon Ice Rider is being slept on again, and people are not ready for one of the best duos in the entire regional. I'm telling you that I'm going to win with that duo. So if I don't win, it'll probably be Koraidon that wins. But I'll probably say Koraidon Ice Rider is my pick.
I was actually gonna pick that one. I was gonna not that one, but I was gonna pick the Miraidon Ice Rider idea. I think it's too good, man. So we'll have to wait and see because again, sometimes the best duo doesn't always win. Yeah, you need a little bit of luck and you need timing and you need to pull the right matchups.
Agreed.
Because all it takes is one crit and your run comes to an end, or one crit and all of a sudden you're in the finals when you were just looking at elimination there. Yeah, so
exactly.
All right, but that's it, folks. We'll be back with another video in the next one. Let us know what you think of our up-to-date tier list. Go ahead and give Darsh a follow, and check out his stuff. He's posting every 3 days, right? So he's got some good stuff on the way, and as do we. We took a lot of time off, in May, just to settle things down with work, but we're back to pretty much full-time here, so stay tuned for what we got. We got rentals coming out soon. I just need a couple more people to make some of our Calyrex teams. It's so dumb, man. I can only make one Calyrex team per cart. They got to do something with this, man. But I kind of get what they're going there. But stay tuned for that. We'll maybe we might do like some other team building concepts. We'll revisit some of these cores and see if we can spice things up a little bit. But stay tuned for that as well. But anyway, we'll be back. Peace out, guys, and have a good one.
Thank you.